Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into some uniquely raw and personal source material. We're looking at excerpts from the YouTube video transcript, Knockin On Heavens Door by Alpoko Don. And this really isn't just a track. It feels more like a candid, unfiltered window into a life, just laid bare.
Absolutely. And our mission here, for this deep dive is to really explore the layers of this story. It's profoundly authentic. We want to pull out some core insights, insights into struggle, into how someone sees themselves, and, well, the forces that shape a life. It's told so directly by the source. It's a really powerful form of, modern storytelling, I think.
Yeah, and it lets us unpack a very immediate, almost visceral experience. The candid nature of it gives us this unique window into his world. Okay, let's unpack this then. And I think to really get into this raw narrative, we have to start right where he puts us, which is right at the heart of his most immediate, most relentless struggle, the cycle of addiction and relapse.
Right. It's immediate. He confesses, I said 3 weeks ago I wouldn't smoke no more. When I turned back around, my eyes is, lo, Lord, I'm right back, knocking on the heaven's door. It's just such a gut-wrenching admission, the gravity of addiction.
Yeah, and what's really striking, I think, isn't just that he relapsed, but the way he describes it, the inevitability almost. Like even the strongest will just succumbs.
Exactly. And that imagery, knocking on the heaven's door, it takes that familiar folk song line and it twists it into something really stark, a plea almost. It shows how you can reframe pop culture to express something deeply personal, this crisis moment.
And he's specific too. He mentioned smoking this prescription pills,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and feeling scared of heights, which, it might not just be the physical high. It could be that terrifying vulnerability that comes with it, or maybe the fear of the inevitable crash, the fall.
Right. But this struggle, this addiction, it's not happening in a vacuum, is it? It's deeply tied to his surroundings.
No, definitely not. The narrative pulls us straight into the streets. A world with its own brutal rules, constant clashes with the law.
We hear about bullet spray, these kids die in these past days, and police ring and blasting, and then his own experience, right? Prison bound, been down at least 6 times. See, it didn't do me no good. I guess I love crime.
And those details, they're grim, but they do more than just set a scene. They really show how that constant threat, the violence, the justice system, how it can redefine what freedom even means in that context, or personal agency.
Yeah, that line where the streets hold me down, I guess they try to break me. It feels like more than just external pressure.
It does. It feels like this internalized sense of being trapped. Like the system offers no real way out, no rehabilitation, just this cycle.
And what do you make of that line, I guess I love crime? Is that literal, do you think?
That's a really powerful question. Is it genuine affection? Or is it more like a cynical reflection? Maybe a kind of forced acceptance. This is the only path he feels is actually open to him. It speaks volumes about rationalizing survival.
It does. But even within that harsh reality, that world of addiction and street life, there's another powerful force, family.
Yes, definitely.
Alpoko Don brings his mother in, and it's really poignant. He remembers, me mama said you're gonna be somebody.
That expectation.
But then later, that heartbreaking image, mama crying, look in my eyes, all she sees, don't lost the baby to the streets.
It's crushing.
And it gets even more specific, more painfully deep. Lines like, my dirt earth the mud on January the 5th, I was born a thuthbred. Lord, why you let me live? Why daddy didn't get no head? You're killing me deep inside. It really hurt bad.
Wow. What strikes me immediately there is just the raw vulnerability.
Yeah.
Sharing origins like that, so intensely personal. And the phrasing, like my dirt hurt the mud, it's so specific, almost poetic in its rawness. It's not accidental, right?
Yeah. No, it feels very deliberate.
It strips away any pretense. It forces you, the listener, into this almost uncomfortable intimacy with his pain. You can really feel the underlying trauma, the weight of his mother's expectations, and how starkly that contrasts with his reality. It's clearly shaped him deeply. These wounds are still there.
Yeah, absolutely. And given all that, it makes sense that his self-perception is incredibly complex, almost contradictory, really.
How so?
Well, he says, I'm high as hell, but hell ain't high, so in my high hell, I guess I'm hot right now. At least that's what the world told me I'm the best.
Okay, so there's this bravado, maybe street cred or artistic recognition. The world told me I'm the best.
Right. But then, almost in the next breath, he expresses this profound isolation. All my bridges burned, partner, and the last couple I got, they laying over troubled waters.
Ah, okay, so there's the tension.
Yeah.
This gap between the external perception being the best in some way, and the internal reality, which is struggle, isolation, burned bridges. It's a stark illustration, isn't
It
it,
really is.
of how coping mechanisms, like that bravado, can act as a kind of shield. But underneath, there's this deep loneliness. It really highlights how people navigate these things, presenting one face while wrestling with a very different internal landscape, trying to find self-worth even with external validation.
And through all of this, the internal conflict, the external pressures, there's this constant theme of survival, the hustle.
Yes, it's relentless.
He describes it vividly. I'm legend the true. I love to hustle bro, rubble low down, and dirty fucking horny hook. It's graphic.
It is, no sugarcoating.
And then there's this other line, almost philosophical about existence itself. He says, I'm in Freetown and I'm cooking up cake. You ain't living no in and you taking up space.
Right, and that line, wow, that really crystallizes a brutal kind of street philosophy, doesn't it? Freetown, cooking up cake.
Yeah.
That's the illicit drug trade, right?
Yeah.
Making and selling.
Yeah, seems pretty clear.
And living no end that captures this ethos that if you're not actively hustling, not part of that specific economy, then you're essentially worthless, just taking up space. It outlines this really stark worldview where your right to exist is almost conditional.
Conditional on the hustle.
Exactly. Conditional on relentlessly engaging in that hustle. It's a powerful, almost desperate statement about how those external pressures can warp your perception, making basic idleness seem like sort of unforgivable sin against your own survival.
What an incredibly powerful and just raw journey we've just taken through this piece of narrative. Alpoko Don's work here, it really does offer such an unfiltered glimpse. A life marked by intense struggle, resilience you wouldn't expect, and these incredibly complex choices. It just distills so much about the human condition.
It really does. This deep dive, I think, it truly highlights the enduring power of personal storytelling, especially when it's shared with this level of, unflinching honesty. It forces you to confront some difficult realities, and you have to consider the immense strength it takes to just lay bare a life like that.
And maybe this raises an important question for you, the listener, to consider. In narratives that are this raw, what does it actually mean to be free? Especially when all these external pressures and these internal struggles seem to constantly pull you back towards that heaven's door. It's definitely a thought that resonates long after you stop listening.